Captain Alex Riker wiped the sweat from his brow as he stood guard in the small room. The dim lights flickered softly, casting long shadows on the metal walls. Outside the heavy door, the rest of the space station was calm for now, but inside, tension hung thick in the air. Across the room, the figure of the alien queen lay in a large, clear containment pod. Her form was tall and elegant, with skin that shimmered like polished stone and eyes that glowed faintly blue. Alex couldn't believe he was standing so close to one of the most feared creatures in the galaxy. Solara, the alien queen, had been captured after a long battle between her species and the humans. The war had lasted years, with countless lives lost on both sides. Now, with her under human control, the hope was to bring peace. But trust was fragile, and no one was sure if she would cooperate. Alex checked his weapon one last time. It was quiet here, but danger could come at any moment. He had been assigned to guard the alien queen personally, a job that no one else wanted. The station's leaders believed that keeping her close would help prevent any escape attempts or secret. "Attacks! Stay alert, Captain!" Commander Hale's voice crackled through the radio. "We need you ready." Alex nodded, even though the commander could not see him. "Understood. I won't let her out of my sight." Hours passed slowly. Alex felt his eyelids grow heavy, but he fought the urge to sleep. He paced the room, careful, not to come too close. The queen's presence was strange, powerful yet calm. She did not speak or move, only watched him with those glowing eyes. Suddenly, a soft humming noise filled the air. Alex turned to the pod. The queen's eyes blinked slowly, and then she spoke in a voice that was soft but firm. "Why do you guard me so closely, human?" Alex froze. No one had expected her to speak so soon. He cleared his throat and replied carefully, "Because you are the key to peace, but you are also a danger. I have to make sure you don't escape." Zalara's eyes narrowed slightly. "I am no longer your enemy. Do you not see the cost of this war?" Alex felt a pang of guilt. He had seen the destruction, ruined cities, broken families, yet his duty was clear. "I see it," he said quietly. "That is why I must be cautious." The queen looked away and was silent again. The quiet settled back into the room. Minutes later, Alex sat down on a small chair. His body ached from standing so long. As he closed his eyes for a moment, the exhaustion took over. He barely noticed when he shifted and found himself lying down on the hard floor near the pod. When he woke, light from the window showed a new day beginning. But something was different. He was not alone. Solara had stepped out of her pod. Her movements were graceful and slow. She stood just a few feet from him, watching him with curiosity. "You slept near me?" she said softly. Alex blinked. "I didn't mean to fall asleep, I just—" The queen smiled faintly. "It is unusual, but not unwelcome." Alex's heart beat faster. No one had ever spoken to him like this. Not a prisoner, not an enemy. He stood up carefully, keeping his hands where she could see. "Why are you here, outside your pod?" he asked. Solara looked at him with a strange kindness. "Because I want to understand you, human. We have been enemies for too long. Maybe if we start this way, peace can grow." Alex felt hope, mixed with fear. Could he really trust the alien queen? Was this a trick? Before he could answer, a warning sounded from the station's security system. Commander Hale's voice came through urgently. "Captain Riker! Report! The rogue faction is moving on the station." Alex glanced at Zalara, whose eyes hardened. In an instant. "It seems peace will not come easily." He nodded, pulling his weapon ready. Together, they prepared to face whatever was coming, not as enemies, but as unlikely allies. For the first time, the human soldier and the alien queen shared the same space, the same goal: survival. And from that moment, everything began to change. The warning alarm echoed through the narrow halls of the space station, sharp and urgent. Captain Alex Riker tightened his grip on his rifle, his senses alert. Beside him, Zalara, the alien queen, moved with quiet grace. The unexpected alliance between human and alien was still fresh, but now it would be tested. "Where are they coming from?" Alex asked, scanning the small room for any sign of movement. Zalara's eyes glowed faintly. "From the lower decks. A group from my people. Rebels who do not want peace." Alex frowned. "Rogues, we've heard about them. They want to stop the treaty talks." The space station's peaceful hope was threatened by violence, but Alex and Zalara shared a look that said they would stand together. "Come," Zalara said, stepping forward. "I will show you." Alex followed her down a narrow corridor. The walls hummed with energy, and the soft glow of emergency lights guided their path. It was strange to have the alien queen walking beside him, no longer locked in a pod. The station's crew would be shocked if they saw this. "Why are you helping us?" Alex asked, his voice low. Zalara glanced at him. "Because I want peace. My people have suffered as much as yours. I do not want more war." Alex nodded slowly. "Then let's stop it before it begins." They reached a control room where the station's sensors showed movement below. A group of armed aliens moved, quickly, trying to take control. Alex felt the tension tighten in his chest. The mission was more dangerous than he thought. Zalara touched a panel and pulled up a holographic map. "They are trying to reach the treaty hall. If they succeed, it will be chaos." Alex looked at the screen. "We have to stop them." With no time to waste, Alex contacted the station security. "This is Captain Riker. We have hostile forces moving in. Request immediate backup." The voice on the other end replied, "Backup en route, Captain. Hold your position." Alex turned to Zalara. "We'll buy time. Together." Zalara's eyes softened. Together. As they prepared for the coming fight, Alex noticed something new. The queen moved differently than the soldiers he had trained with. She was faster, but more careful, precise in her steps. When the enemy forces finally arrived, the battle was intense. Blasts of energy and gunfire echoed through the hallways. Alex and Zalara fought side by side, their movements in sync despite their different styles. Alex covered Zalara as she used her alien powers to disable the attackers' weapons. The rebels faltered, surprised by the strange teamwork. One of the enemy soldiers aimed directly at Alex. Without hesitation, Zalara stepped forward, placing a shield of light between him and the blast. The energy hit the shield and scattered, leaving Alex unharmed. For the first time, Alex saw the queen not as an enemy, but as a protector. After the last of the rebels was captured or fled, Alex leaned against the wall, catching his breath. Zalara stood nearby, watching him carefully. "You saved me," Alex said quietly. "And you saved me," Zalara replied. "We need each other." Their eyes met. In that moment, the walls between them, human and alien, seemed to weaken. Later, as the station returned to calm, Alex escorted Zalara back to her room. The other humans watched with suspicion and curiosity, whispering among themselves. "Why do you trust her so quickly?" one soldier asked. Alex shook his head. "I don't, but sometimes trust starts with understanding." Zalara looked at Alex with something like a smile. "You are different from the others. You listen." That night, Alex found himself restless. His thoughts kept returning to the day's events. The battle, the Queen's shield, the strange connection growing between them. As he prepared for rest, a soft knock came at his door. He opened it to find Zalara standing there, her eyes calm and steady. "May I?" she asked. Alex nodded, surprised. Without hesitation, Zalara stepped inside. I do not want to be locked away again. I want to stay near you. Alex hesitated. Are you sure? The others will question this. I am sure, she said. I feel safer with you, and perhaps you feel the same. The room was small and simple, but now it felt different. Alex sat on his bed, and Zalara took a chair nearby. For hours, they talked quietly, sharing stories of their lives. Alex spoke of Earth, its blue skies, green forests, and the simple joys of human life. Zalara described her world, a place of strange beauty and harsh realities, where survival meant strength, but also wisdom. They found common ground in their dreams, a future without war, where different peoples could live in peace. As the night deepened, Alex realized something he hadn't expected. He felt a strange comfort with the alien queen close by. It was not fear, but curiosity, respect, and maybe even hope. When sleep finally came, it was side by side, not as captor and captive, but as two beings seeking understanding. Outside, the station's lights continued to shine, a small beacon in the vast darkness of space. Inside that quiet room, an unusual friendship was born, and with it, the fragile first steps toward peace. The days following the attack were tense, but the space station felt a bit different. Captain Alex Riker and alien Queen Zalara had formed a fragile bond that no one expected. The station crew watched closely as the two shared space and conversations. Some were curious, others suspicious, and a few openly doubted the idea that the Queen could truly cooperate. Commander Hale called Alex into the briefing room. The walls were lined with glowing maps and displays showing the status of the station and the ongoing peace talks. Alex took a seat across from the commander, while Zalara stood quietly nearby, her tall figure casting a strange shadow. "We need to talk about your arrangement," Hale began, his tone serious. "Keeping the alien queen close to you is risky. Our diplomats are nervous and the crew has concerns. What if this is a trick?" Alex met the commander's eyes without hesitation. "I don't think it's a trick. Zalara helped us stop the rebels. She saved my life." Hale sighed. "I know, but it's not just about the rebels. We don't fully understand her species or her motives. We must be cautious." Zalara stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "I want peace as much as you do. My people have been fighting for generations. This war has hurt us all." Alex nodded. "She's telling the truth. We need to give this a chance." The commander hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Very well, but you'll be monitored closely. If anything suspicious happens, we pull you apart." Alex and Zalara exchanged a look, a silent promise to protect each other and the fragile hope between their peoples. In the following days, the two spent more time together. Zalara learned human customs, and Alex discovered the complexity of her world. They shared meals, stories, and sometimes silence, each moment building trust. One afternoon, while walking through the station's garden dome, Zalara paused to touch the leaves of an earth plant. "Your world is beautiful," she said softly. Alex smiled. "It has its scars, but it's home." Suddenly, a message interrupted their peace. The station's alert system blinked urgently. Another threat was near. This time, it was not from Zalara's people, but a group of human extremists opposed to peace with aliens. Alex's jaw tightened. "They want to stop this before it even begins." Zalara's eyes narrowed. "We must protect the talks." Together, they moved quickly to the station's defense center. Soldiers prepared for the attack, but many looked unsure about fighting alongside the alien queen. Alex raised his voice. "Listen up. Zalara is not our enemy. She's our ally. If we want peace, we have to trust her." The room quieted. Some nodded slowly, others still wary. The extremists arrived armed and angry. The fight was brutal but brief. Alex and Zalara worked side by side, their teamwork seamless. Zalara's alien abilities disabled enemy weapons, while Alex led the human soldiers with precise commands. After the battle, the station's leaders held a meeting to discuss the future. Zalara spoke openly about her vision for peace and cooperation. She proposed a shared council where humans and aliens would make decisions together. Alex supported her fully. If we want to survive, we have to work as one. The diplomats debated, but the hope in Zalara's words was hard to ignore. That night, as the station settled, Alex and Zalara returned to their quarters. The quiet between them was comfortable, filled with the unspoken understanding of what they were building. Zalara looked at Alex with a new warmth. "I want to stay close to you, Captain. Not just for safety, but because I have learned to trust you." Alex felt a surge of emotion he hadn't expected. "I want that too." They sat together, two very different beings sharing a small room, yet feeling less alone than ever before. Outside, the stars twinkled, silent witnesses to an unlikely alliance growing stronger every day. The space station, which had once felt like a quiet place for peace talks, was now buzzing with tension. Rumors of a new threat spread quickly. Captain Alex Riker stood at the observation window, watching the stars stretch out into the dark void of space. Beside him, alien Queen Zalara's eyes reflected the distant lights, her expression serious. "They are coming," Zalara said quietly. Alex turned to her. "The rogue faction?" She nodded. "They will not accept peace. They want to destroy everything we have built here." Alex clenched his fists. He had hoped the fight was over, but war had a way of following them, even into this fragile moment of calm. The station's alarms sounded suddenly, a warning of incoming ships. On the control panels, red blips moved closer. The rogue faction's fleet was approaching fast. "Commander," Hale's voice came over the comms. "All hands to battle stations. Prepare for attack." Alex and Zalara moved quickly through the crowded corridors. Soldiers ran past them, readying weapons and shields. Despite the chaos, the alien queen remained calm, her presence steadying those around her. At the command center, Alex joined the team coordinating the defense. Zalara stood beside him, her glowing eyes scanning the data. The enemy ships opened fire, and the station shook with the impact. Explosions lit the halls, and the hum of energy weapons filled the air. Alex barked orders. "Focus on the fighters, protect the shields." Zalara raised her hands, and a shimmering barrier spread around the station. The alien technology blended with human systems, strengthening their defense. Together, they made a strong team, human strategy and alien power. But the rogue faction was relentless. Their fighters slipped through the defenses and boarded the station, ready to fight on foot. Alex and Zalara led a small group to confront them. The corridor was narrow, shadows flickering as they moved cautiously. Suddenly, a group of hostile aliens appeared, weapons raised. The fight was brutal. Alex fired quickly, taking down two enemies. Zalara moved with a speed and grace that seemed impossible, disarming attackers with ease. The soldiers followed their lead, gaining confidence. In the midst of the fight, Alex saw one of the rogue leaders aiming at Zalara. Without hesitation, he pushed her aside and took the blast. The pain was sharp, but he stayed on his feet. Zalara's eyes flashed with fierce anger. She unleashed a wave of energy that sent the attackers flying back. The rogue faction began to retreat, losing ground quickly. When the battle ended, Alex leaned against the wall, breathing hard. Zalara knelt beside him, her hands glowing softly as she healed his wounds. "You saved me," Alex said with a weak smile. "And you saved me," she replied. "We are stronger together." The soldiers who watched were amazed. The bond between Human and alien queen was real and powerful. After the battle, the station's leaders gathered to discuss what had happened. The peace talks could continue, but only if both sides were willing to fight for it. Alex and Zalara stood together, ready to face whatever came next. Outside, the stars shone on, silent witnesses to a war that was not yet over, but to a new hope that burned brighter than ever. The space station was still recovering from the recent attack. Everywhere, crews worked to repair the damage. The hum of machinery and the chatter of voices filled the air. But inside the quiet room where Captain Alex Riker and alien Queen Zalara shared space, a different kind of work was happening, one of understanding and trust. Alex sat at a small table, sipping water. Across from him, Zalara carefully examined a human device, turning it in her delicate hands. It was a simple thing, a communicator, but to her it represented the world of humans. "Your technology is fascinating," she said softly. "It shows how your people connect, even across great distances." Alex smiled. "We rely on it a lot. It helps us stay in touch, especially when we're far from home." Zalara looked up, her glowing eyes meeting his. "And yet, you still worry about what I might do next." Alex's smile faded. "It's hard not to. We've been enemies for so long. Trust doesn't come easily." She nodded slowly. "I understand. My people fear humans just as much. But maybe we can change that." The days that followed were filled with moments like this. Small talks, shared meals, quiet walks through the station's garden dome. The crew began to notice a change in the Queen. She no longer seemed distant or cold. Instead, she showed care for the humans around her. One afternoon, Alex found Zalara sitting alone, watching the stars outside the window. He joined her, feeling the quiet between them like a soft bridge. "Do you miss your world?" he asked gently. Zalara sighed, a sound like the wind through leaves. "Sometimes. But I see a future here, if we can make peace last." Alex nodded. "I want that too, for both our peoples." Suddenly, the room's alert system beeped. A message from the Peace Council appeared on the screen. The treaty signing was scheduled soon, but new concerns had arisen. Some delegates were still unsure about trusting the alien queen. Alex frowned. "We need to show them she means no harm." Zalara stood, determination shining in her eyes. "Then I will speak to them myself." The next day, Zalara entered the main hall where human and alien leaders gathered. Her presence was powerful, yet calm. She spoke clearly, sharing her hopes and fears, the pain her people had endured, and the desire for peace. Her words moved many. The atmosphere shifted from suspicion to cautious hope. After the meeting, Alex approached her. "You did well." She smiled softly. "Because I trusted you." Their bond was no longer a secret. The station's crew began to accept their unusual friendship as a symbol of what could be possible. That evening, Alex and Zalara returned to their quarters. The quiet room, once filled with tension, now felt warm. Zalara looked at Alex. "I want to stay close to you, not because I'm afraid, but because you have shown me kindness." Alex reached out, placing his hand gently over hers. "And I want you near, for the same reason." They sat together, two very different beings connected by hope and understanding. Outside, the stars sparkled brightly. Inside, barriers were breaking, and a new path was forming, one where humans and aliens might finally walk side by side. The peace treaty was just days away. The space station hummed with preparation, but the tension was thick. Some humans still doubted the alien queen's intentions. Some aliens whispered about betrayal. Captain Alex Riker knew this moment would decide the future of many lives. Alex stood beside Zalara in the quiet of their shared room. They had grown close, closer than either expected. The walls around them felt less like barriers and more like a safe space. "We're close," Alex said softly. "The treaty could change everything." Zalara nodded, her eyes glowing softly. "But many will try to stop it. Fear is strong." Alex clenched his fists. "We have to show them trust is stronger." Suddenly, the station's alarms blared, a harsh warning sound. Alex's heart jumped. "Intruders," the security officer announced over the comms. "Unknown ships approaching fast." Zalara's expression hardened. "It's the rogue faction. They will not give up." Alex grabbed his weapon. "We need to stop them. Together." The two rushed to the command center. The station shook as enemy ships fired energy blasts. The shields flickered under the attack. "Focus on the lead ship," Alex ordered. "Zalara, can you help?" She raised her hands, a glowing shield spreading around the station's core systems. The energy pulsed and pushed back the attackers. Suddenly, the enemy ships launched fighters that landed on the station. The corridors filled with armed soldiers ready to fight. Alex and Zalara led the defense. They moved as one, him with his rifle, her with her alien powers. The battle was fierce. Alex saw one enemy aiming at Zalara. Without hesitation, he threw, himself in front of her, taking a hit. The pain burned, but he stayed standing. Zalara's eyes flared bright. She released a wave of energy that threw the attackers back. The rogue faction retreated, defeated but not destroyed. After the battle, Alex sat, exhausted, in the medical bay. Zalara knelt beside him, her hands glowing as she healed his wounds. "You risked your life," she said gently. "Because I trust you," Alex replied. The moment was quiet, but full of meaning. Trust had been tested and had not broken. Days later, the peace treaty ceremony began. Leaders from human and alien worlds gathered. The room was filled with hope and anxiety. Zalara stood beside Alex. She spoke clearly, her voice carrying strength and sincerity. "This treaty is more than words," she said. "It is a promise that we can build a future together." The leaders signed the treaty. Applause filled the room. Alex and Zalara exchanged a look, one of relief and hope. The war was not over, but the first step toward peace had been taken. As the ceremony ended, Alex whispered to Zalara, "We did it." She smiled softly. "Because we believed." Together they looked out at the stars, a vast universe filled with danger but also endless possibilities. The space station was quiet now, the battle scars slowly healing under careful hands. The peace treaty had been signed, marking a new chapter for humans and aliens alike. But the road ahead was still long and uncertain. Captain Alex Riker stood on the observation deck, looking out at the endless stars. Beside him, alien Queen Zalara watched silently. They shared a silence filled with hope and the weight of what had been achieved. "The future is unknown," Alex said softly, "but for the first time I believe it can be good." Zalara nodded. "We have taken the first step. Now we must walk the path together." Their friendship had grown into something rare and strong, a bridge between two worlds that had once been enemies. The station crew moved about their tasks with a new energy. Humans and aliens worked side by side, learning from each other, breaking old fears. It was not perfect, but it was progress. Alex and Zalara's unusual companionship had become a symbol, a living example that peace was possible when people chose trust over fear. One evening, as the stars glittered outside the station's windows, Alex and Zalara sat together in their shared room. The small space felt warmer than ever. "I never imagined this," Alex said, a faint smile touching his lips, "that the alien queen would sleep in the same room as a human soldier." Zalara smiled softly. "Nor did I. But sometimes the most unlikely things are the strongest. Their hands met, a gentle connection that spoke more than words ever could. Suddenly, the station's alert system beeped softly. A message appeared on the screen, a new call for help from a nearby colony under threat. Alex stood, determination shining in his eyes. There's still work to do. Zalara rose beside him. Together we will face it. They prepared to leave, knowing the future held challenges but also promise. As they boarded the shuttle, the crew gathered to see them off. Cheers and hopeful words filled the air. Alex looked at Zalara. "Ready?" "Always," she replied. The shuttle lifted off, moving into the vast unknown. Outside, the stars shone like never before. Two unlikely allies, bound by trust and hope, charted a course toward a new dawn, a future where peace could grow, even in the darkest reaches of space. And so their story continued, not just as soldier and queen, but as partners, friends, and symbols of a better tomorrow.